Some of us know and familiar about the buildings but don't know who is behind it. It is important to recognize the architect. In this video, we will take a look at the life of the architect, Bernard Tschumi. Bernard Tschumi is widely recognized as one of today's foremost architects. He is a well-known architect, writer, and also educator. Bernard Tschumi was born on January 25, 1944 in Lausanne, Switzerland. He was a son of the well-known Swiss architect Jean Tschumi and a French mother. Tschumi is a dual French-Swiss national who works and lives in New York City and Paris. He got his degree in architecture from Paris at ETH in Zurich in 1969. In the 1970s, Tschumi taught at the Architectural Association of London, then at Princeton and Cooper Union. And from 1988 to 2003, he was Dean of the Graduate School of Architecture at Columbia University in New York. First known as a theorist, Tschumi drew attention to his innovative architectural practice in 1983 when he won the prestigious competition for the Parc de la Villette, a 125-acre cultural park based on activities as much as nature. The intertwining concepts of event and movement in architecture are supposed by Tschumi's belief that architecture is the most important innovation of our time. Moving on, let's take a quick look at some of his works. This is Binhai Science Museum in China. Bernard Tschumi architects planned the Exploratorium to identify with the rich modern history of the region, the site of high-volume assembling and research. A series of enormous scope cones make significant rooms all through the historical center. A spiraling slope climbs to the top level, offers a surprising sight of the vertical city by re-evaluating an antiquated modern typology. The rooftop is open to guests and goes about as a promenade with striking perspectives over the encompassing city. The Exploratorium is planned as a structure for the past, the present, and the eventual fate of Tianjin. Parc de la Villette in Paris, chosen as the best amongst OMA, Rem Koolhaas, Zaha Hadid, Jean Nouvel, and other 470 entries in the international competition for the largest park in Paris. Bernard Tschumi urbanist architects marked their first impression in the practical architectural field. The site was to be redeveloped as a park, which once was a meat market and slaughterhouse. Tschumi did not design with the traditional mindset for landscaping. Preferably, he envisioned it as a place with culture. The bright red color provides justice to the productivity of the site as the original. Tschumi was one of the most significant pioneers of the Constructivism. He has proven that architecture isn't simply about space and form, but also about event, action, and what happens in space. Tschumi has always been interested in concept and experience. He believed that there was no architecture without events, actions, or activity. This has remained central to his work, where architecture must originate from the ideas and concepts before becoming form, and cannot be dissociated from the events and movements of the living beings that inhabit it. I very much see urban design projects as a game. Imagine a form of chess or Monopoly where the various pieces can be moved around, and all the architect does is to establish the game board, a few pieces, a few rules, and then let the user start to play and develop it. His buildings respond to and testify the activities that occur within them, and the combination of spaces, movements, and events change and creatively extend the structures that contain them. Tschumi relies on the principle of disjunction, a strategy he developed in the 1970s to reveal the contradictions that exist in the architecture between form and function, as well as other oppositions and contradictions. The works of Bernard Tschumi still remains and his contributions in the world of architecture. Over his almost 40-year career, he's built accomplishments number over 60, including theoretical projects. I would like people in general, and not only architects, to understand that architecture is not only what it looks like, but also what happens in it.